In this WrestleTalk news, the WWE producer quits following WrestleMania, have two new members of Edge's faction leaked, and what happened with Cody after Raw went off the air. Plus, Ollie's going to be here reviewing last night's Raw, so subscribe and enable notifications to always on for daily wrestling news videos.
Support WrestleTalk!
WrestleMania weekend is in the books. Cody returned, Veer came, and Ezekiel is not fooling anyone. And all in all, it was a great weekend of sports entertainment fun. Now, post-WrestleMania, WWE usually has a bit of a freshen up, be that bringing new characters to the fore, reworking gimmicks, or calling people up out of NXT. But this year, there is also a backstage shakeup that perhaps they didn't see coming, as Mike Johnson at PW Insider reported that producer Pat Buck resigned from WWE following WrestleMania. Now, Buck had an important role over the weekend, heading up producing the Night 2 main event between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, as well as Night 1's match between Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair. Buck took to Twitter to confirm his exit with a statement saying, "As a producer/agent, I feel I have accomplished everything I wanted to do within WWE in the last 3 years. My endless gratitude beams from working with so many wonderful talents, especially the ultra-talented women's division." Buck made it clear that he would be leaving WWE and returning to expand his training schools, WrestlePro in New Jersey and the Creator Pro wrestling academies in New Jersey and Long Island, which he co-owns with Brian Myers. In other news, you probably noticed that Edge is doing this whole spooky suited faction thing like a pair of magicians at a conference, which WWE have been scouting for names for on Twitter. According to AEW's Brody King, it should be Wish.com House of Black. Ouch. But regardless of whatever the edgelords end up calling themselves, there's currently plenty of speculation about who else is going to be joining the group. You can't have a two-man group. One person who already dresses appropriately and Fightful Select are suggesting has been pitched is Rhea Ripley, who teased some dissension with tag partner Liv Morgan on Raw. Now, Fightful did some digging and turned up one other name that was pitched: former NXT champion Tommaso Ciampa. It's worth noting that obviously who is pitched and who eventually ends up in the faction are completely different things, as no word has come down on if the idea was approved by WWE higher-ups, but both those get my approval, so that counts for nothing. The biggest thing from Raw this week, though, as Ollie will tell you, was Cody Rhodes addressing the crowd after his return at WrestleMania. A return which didn't try and just hammer Cody back into an old WWE gimmick, or any face paint for that matter. Now, the lack of face paint can be explained by Cody telling Ariel Helwani that he told Vince and WWE, "I said I never want to see Stardust ever again, and I never want to see, hear it, or talk about it, and it was a handshake, and that was all I needed." Now on Raw, Cody made a short emotional address to the crowd, which according to Sean Ross Sapp wasn't scripted. Wrestling Observer said the only idea for it was for it to be a memorable promo. But post-show, fans were treated to more Rhodes, who wrestled a dark match against Kevin Owens, which Cody won, but not before KO pulled out the Young Bucks pose to taunt his opponent. Pretty much the only AEW reference around Cody on the night. Cody then addressed the fans to send them home happy, but what happened on the actual show, you bloody idiot? You've been talking about it all in the wrong order. Well, I have done that. So, hot tag to Ollie to sort it all out.
Now it's time for my review of WrestleMania 38, Episode 3, Monday Night Raw. In about 5 minutes. The Raw After Mania opened on a follow-up to the biggest thing that happened over the weekend. No, not Vince McMahon taking a stunner, or Logan Paul doing the Three Amigos, or Pat McAfee's entrance, or Johnny Knoxville and his 5-star match. I miss the celebrities. Where are those guys? What do you mean they're just here once a year? Well, then why am I going to care about all these guys they've beaten? Instead, Raw opened on Cody Rhodes, with the platform he was supposed to raise up from rather hilariously not being quite tall enough, so you saw his head already at the bottom of the screen before his entrance, like a potato. He got a huge reaction, fascinatingly full of "you deserve it" and "welcome back," with not a single AEW chant. Cody didn't reference AEW either. He just said there's been rumors about his life over the last 2 months, that returning to WWE was the easiest decision he's ever made, and that his aim is to win the WWE Championship, whatever that's called now, because his dad never got it. Seth Rollins interrupted, seemingly to continue their feud, but instead he appeared to endorse Cody and his mission to honor their shared father figure, and they shook hands. Cody and Seth secretly running Ring of Honor confirmed. This is one of the greatest works of all time. I think it's fair to say that that was the only real thing of substantial note that happened on this show, because next up came a championship contenders Contenders match of new tag champs Naomi and Sasha Banks against Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. The action was decent, but I don't believe in any of this division's teams. They're just single stars thrown together, which became even more frustrating when Ripley appeared to break up with Liv after they lost, but they were back together again by the end of the night because they've been granted a title shot next week, after losing the Championship Contenders match, negating the whole point of the Championship Contenders match. What are the rules? What are the rules? In WWE's commitment to having a confusing episode layout, Kevin Owens then entered looking like, for a moment, his next feud was with Liv Morgan. Instead, it turned out to be someone probably even more surprising. After complaining he lost to Stone Cold because of a bad back, KO was interrupted by a wrestler from 2010's forgotten midcard. Like, I don't know, someone eliminated in the first few weeks of NXT Series 3. An obscure superstar that Tempest wouldn't even get in a Quizzlemania round. He wore generic trunks, he had generic music, he had a generic face and look, he even had a generic name, Ezekiel. Wait, it can't be. Oh no, he was bald. That's the one characteristic that stops those two looking exactly the same. And then Owens leaned in and said, Elias, is that you? No, according to Elias. It's Elias's younger brother, Ezekiel. This gimmick, if done right, could have Mizdown levels of potential. Up next, Veer finally came, laying out the Mysterios after Miz had just squashed Dominic. It was all over very quickly. Hey, you try edging for 6 months and then trying to perform. Veer had the intensity of movement of early Rusev, but this all felt very lower mid-card. Bianca Belair revealed an actual black eye during her victory promo, presumably off Becky's Rolling Thunder boot on Saturday, which makes their match feel even more awesome. The content of the promo, though, was pretty forgettable and didn't set up any new challenges or storylines, which make this whole episode feel very insubstantial, considering that Roman Reigns did the same thing in the main event, showing that WWE really does only care about moments rather than all the build and the context that should make them. Bron Breakker then beat Dolph Ziggler on Raw to regain the NXT Championship just 2 days after losing to Ziggler in a title match at NXT Stand and Deliver. The match was pretty average, and even the much smarter than normal crowd didn't give this the kind of reaction pre-NXT 2.0 call-ups or segments have had in the past. This had all the drama of Jack Swagger winning the Mid-Noughties ECW title on a match in the middle of the show, which is to say, at best, polite applause. It's even more frustrating when there's such an easy, obvious fix. Have Rick and Scott Steiner in Bron's corner to counteract Rude and Dolph's. You can then add extra layers of conflict, give the crowd easy nostalgia pops, and properly give Breakker the legacy rub. Bobby Lashley is back to being a one-dimensional smiling babyface as MVP turned on him next, siding with Omos. At least that gives Omos someone who can cover the talking side of things for him. If they get someone to wrestle for him too, he's the complete package. Speaking of breakups, Queen Zelina and Carmella versus Shayna Baszler and Natalya never got started, thank God, because Vega and Carmella broke up, which led to Carmella and Corey Graves getting off with each other. Oh, it's so sexy! In one of the many WrestleMania recaps, WWE somehow edited around Vince taking the stunner so it didn't look quite as awful. Whose sandwich did Finn Balor in backstage? Because Austin Theory pinned him in the following 6-man tag with RK Bro and the Usos. Finn's third loss in 3 days, and he didn't even wrestle at the weekend. Theory's character seems to be getting more serious, and this is surely setting up an eventual US title win for him. Thankfully, I'm really into Edge's new character, who welcomed out his newest member of the House of Purple, Damian Priest. Interestingly, Edge didn't know Priest would join him at WrestleMania. Damian had just felt lost, and Edge's promos spoke to him. AJ Styles came out, successfully avoiding sharp edges of the entrance stage to brawl with them both, but the numbers won out and the heels stood tall. Adam Pearce restarted Alpha Academy versus the Street Profits as a Texas Tornado match, meaning everyone is legal for fast-paced action from the start. Instead, it made it a bit clunky, with Otis standing awkwardly in the corner most of the time waiting for his cues. Montez Ford won with a frog splash on Gable through a table. And then, after being built up for the whole night, we finally got to hear from our super duper everything champion, Roman Reigns, who took about 15 minutes to say, "Watch SmackDown." There was no angle, no new challenger, No new championship belt. Just Paul Heyman running down all the Bloodline's accomplishments, like the biggest grossing SummerSlam, Survivor Series and Royal Rumbles, a 43% increase in Peacock subscriptions, the leading stars in WWE's first $1 billion revenue year. I love wrestling promos that are actually Q1 investor calls. In terms of actual content, absolutely nothing was said. What did you all think of the Raw After Mania? Let me know in the comments. WrestleMania 38 was an incredibly fun weekend. Yet this episode of Raw showed why no one was excited for WrestleMania in the build. The weekly TV is not good enough. There were newsworthy bits like Cody's first promo, Veer finally getting here, Zelina and Carmella breaking up, and Bron Breakker winning the NXT Championship, which I actually forgot about until I just scrolled through the results just now. But none of it had any substance. Nothing felt like it meant anything, and this should have been the hot new season start, setting up new feuds, storylines, and characters. By Raw After Mania standards, this was a near total waste, and a bucket of cold water over my WrestleMania hype. I'm giving this episode 35%. Now go watch how Adam Blompier would have booked WrestleMania 38.
Just like that, it's time for another WrestleMania. And you know what? All right. It's not the worst built WrestleMania ever. That would be WrestleMania 31. And it's not the best one either, of course. But it's fine. You know, WrestleMania 17 wasn't actually that well built either.